Hello everyone, how's everybody doing? So this is Fiora, and I am joined by...
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
Lightfoot ready. Hello everybody.
Hello from Germany.
Hello from the country from which Brexit started.
So we're here today to talk Armored Talk, i.e. Armored Warfare and upcoming changes as well as current state of the game. Who would like to start? Because we have a lot of loaded topics and probably not enough time for all of them.
So,
Digger, if you want.
Well, it doesn't have one topic because it's quite a lot, of course. I don't think we can even discuss it all in one episode. I mean, the whole thing of the article that came out, of course, about the past, the future, and the present. That's what I'm referring to, and they stated clear path that Armored Warfare wants to go, and I'm very impressed by that article. That's actually what I want to talk about. Maybe not incomplete. We can save it up for other episodes, but there's a lot of things that is being discussed in this article. So
Okay, feel free.
Well, the balancing program in 2.0, that means the whole game as it is now. If I am reading it wrong, just let's intercept and tell me so. But the balancing in 2.0 and all the high tiers, the main battle tanks, so many aspects of the game, vehicle overhaul, physics overhaul, new core modes. You get a completely new game. And that's a little bit, okay, we know Armored Warfare how it is now, but how will it be? So that's a little bit the question in the first article, immediately, the first chapter of this article. And that was actually something that was playing through my mind already today when I was reading it. Excuse me. So, what can we expect? I mean, maybe you guys have there some idea about, because vehicle overhaul, physics overhaul, new
Well,
core
there
modes.
are things that are needed. Like,
Yeah.
You still have wheeled vehicle physics that are off the wall. You sometimes have interaction physics, like like last week I got stuck on I got stuck underneath a wooden rail car at complete random and was just stuck there. Couldn't move, couldn't do anything, and I'm just looking at it like, how does that even happen?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it's things that are needed that should have happened a while ago, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's such a things that still appear in the game, and I encounter them almost on a daily basis. Those little things, also funny moments. I mean, if you suddenly see a stingray staring up at the moon on his backside, I mean, that's still funny for me, you know. So no, I really, with this article, I have really the idea that they see what's going on and that they're really listening to their audience, and that's my opinion. I follow these articles well by the foot. I'm constantly on the website of Armored Warfare, and I must say, just I'm impressed. That's all.
Yeah, it's a risky move, I think.
Also,
but we're at a position at the of the race where you have to decide whether you want to stay at the current state or you have to change. And looking at the player base, I think changing is the right thing to move along. Many people are confused because they expected a better World of Tanks, but they didn't get a better World of Tanks. They get a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a totally different game, but it is not totally different.
A world of modern tanks?
Yeah, it's the possibility
kinda.
of changing this, the possibility of making the better game. Not only the other game.
Well, I think that's the whole idea. I think. I mean, they want to really stick out and not being the game like World of Tanks or like War Thunder. I mean, I can completely understand, but what you said also, it's also very dangerous what they're doing, because you can also go backflip and completely shoot or miss. How do you say that? Missing the target completely, and you get a sucky game.
Well,
I think.
I think getting a sucky game is a risk you have no matter what changes you make on any game. But by coming forth and admitting to us, yes, there are problems. We are aware. And here's all the stuff we would like to do to fix them. And here's all the stuff we're doing instead of, just fixing stuff as is. We're going to reinvent the game and do it in hopefully a better way. I'm kind of for that. I mean, the game does play way too much to me like World of Modern Tanks. And to change that would make it its own unique game and definitely a more beneficial experience for players.
That was my idea also. I think.
Is it risky? Yeah, but
yeah,
it's with video games. You can't just copy what your competition does. In a lot of cases, you have to make yourself bold and unique.
Yeah, that's the whole industry is of course a billion-dollar industry. I mean, you can if you play your cards right, you can have a magnificent, a great game, and I say you can be magnificent, but yeah, it's always a risk. Of course, I agree. The openness, what they now have is they cannot do anything else, because there are people who are very salty also on the forums, and let's be honest, any game, you name it, the high standard of people saying great game, I think 80% of the people will agree, and you always have 20% who will stay salty, because that's how it is. That's simply, and I can honestly, I like the game, of course, and there are some things that annoy me, but I'm not going to be salty about it. I always tell everyone also on my channel, guys, it's an open beta. It's still change. It changes constantly, every time, And patience, I think, is the right word also.
I also think that the biggest thing that has come out of this is the plan in the future to actually be the only of the 3 tank games to officially remove itself from open beta and declare itself a full release. That's
also.
That's something that I would love to see. But see, World of Tanks has been open beta for 6 years.
7.
Yeah, 7.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, people don't have to take open beta as serious. It's just, I don't know if you call it open beta. Look at World of Warcraft as a different example. It's changing over years. It's 12 years, 14 years, I don't know, and it's changing and changing and changing, but it's not beta. So I think getting the open beta shield up, it's just an excuse for some things, and many people don't appreciate these excuses. They say it's not open beta, it's just a changing release, and don't behave like it's beta, and don't cover behind open beta. So
yeah, because it gives them more. So if it goes bad, they can still say, yeah, but it's in open beta, And also what Fiora just said, staying for years in open beta phase is a little bit, well, I don't know, it's cheating.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, so people cannot complain or sue a company because they spent time and money in a game. So, that's simply, if they would go live, and I suspect maybe in the new year or end of this year, then that would be something very positive for them, I think. Because I know North America is, doesn't like open beta so much as we found in Europe. People don't have so much troubles with open beta. And I think the game wants to go forward, and to go forward, they need to have the support of a healthy player base. So goes two ways.
I think, especially regarding a lot of people's attitudes, they go on the forum, see something they don't like, and immediately expect the game to be perfect. As well as, okay, my train of thought has been killed off. You know when you have something you want to talk about, and then like it immediately dies, you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. But going off of that, they go on the forums and they do a whine thread, or they do a, you know, I don't like this because XYZ, and I think da 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 da, and they expect that they're going to be listened to, and I'm
In the
like,
end,
that's.
A lot of people don't seem to realise the problem is unfortunately between the keyboard and them.
Yeah.
Crying about something because you're awful at the game, I'm sorry, but you're awful. You can't expect the developers to look and say, hey, this person's awful, let's change it just for them and them only. I think that Armored Warfare, I think that some people are entitled towards Armored Warfare in that with all the specials and the bonuses and the fact that the game is easier to grind up than Warframe and World of Tanks. And they just expect everything to be given to them for free. Another thing is that sometimes when I've seen this happen on the World of Tanks and War Thunder forums, when the devs come on, they immediately get shouted at and insulted and stuff, and that makes the devs not want to come on. I mean, why would you go on a forum where you immediately just get toxic people throwing their shit at you?
True.
Anyway, that's my piece.
I think mainly what you guys talk about is like we're lacking constructive criticism.
Yeah. Some people don't seem to realise that there's a difference between swearing and whining and constructive criticism.
I walk a very fine line between those things.
Yes,
I will admit this.
Yeah, that's also maybe frustration, right? You want to play, you're playing a game, and it doesn't go your way. It doesn't do what you wished it do. It does. And I think you're not the only one, Fiora, because we all have the same thing. And I'm also cursing at the moon, howling at the moon, and sometimes the keyboard is in need for repair, if you know what I mean. It's simply a common nature of people. I mean, it's a game, guys, come on. And then you have the people who simply, about every single thing, have to be salty about. And just, you know, and I always keep this phrase in my head, guys, be aware, it's open beta. Yeah, but there are cheaters and keep going and keep going. And I say, guys, maybe those guys are simply better than you are. That's it, end of period. And you have to simply admit that. Okay, you know? And that's how it is. If you can look with an open mind to this game, and my reflexes stink. I like hell. I'm definitely not a great player. Absolutely not. I cannot, because simply I have a problem. But I love the game, and I see if something goes bad, okay, it was my own fault, my own bad. And as long as we stay human beings, we will always find something to blame or someone else to blame. And especially when you are a company like Obsidian and Armored Warfare game developer, the easy thing to do is blame them, right?
Yeah, it's blame them, and then, you know, I don't know anybody that would tell me with a straight face that Fallout New Vegas wasn't amazing. But at the same time, I don't know anybody that would tell me with a straight face Fallout New Vegas didn't have a shitload of bugs. And when Obsidian does something wrong, everyone complains and says, "Oh, look, they're doing another Fallout New Vegas where it's going to be so buggy and everything." And then when they do something right, they hold up the same game title, and I'm like,
completely different, yeah,
exactly. It's a video game. I mean, even in World of Tanks, there are still bugs, and it's been going for 7 years.
Big ones.
That might be because Wargaming doesn't actually give a fuck when they're making double-digit millions every month.
Except for Wargaming, World of Warships. That's yes. I swear to you, those guys will listen.
Although,
and they, you know, so but that is Russia, and you have Cyprus. I mean, two well, never mind. This is Armored Warfare, so don't talk about the thing or World of Tanks because.
Okay, so let's come back to the overhaul.
Yeah.
Do you have deeper information for our audience?
Well,
I'm very hesitant. Dig a hole ready up when you can. I'm very hesitant about the whole reducing the penetration and effectiveness of autocannons and making AFVs have to rely more and more on missiles, because there's only a select list of AFVs that are actually shooting missiles on the move, and then on top of that, most of them aren't getting an ammunition buff for the number of missiles they can carry. So things like the Fox only carry 10 missiles. You can't carry a match with 10 missiles if your autocannon is mostly ineffective.
Renault.
Yeah.
We were playing PTS these days. I don't know how the state of PTS is in the very moment, in the progress of Balance 2.0. But on the PTS you are able to fire on the move with the BMP 3 tier 6 scout. So you can fire missiles on the move, and this is a pretty pain in the ass. They're just we were playing 5 versus 5 Lords of War, and the best clans or the best setups were 5 BMP3, because you are quite fast, you can look very far, you're firing 600 shells on the move, and you just fire, move, target your opponent, pick him for 600 and cover again. And that's a quite quite fast gameplay, but it's not what we were expecting. So if it's in this way, they are absolutely broken, in my opinion. Changing ATGMs for getting players using them more is a nice idea, but making them overpowered is also a bad idea.
Oh, I expected them to be kind of overpowered, especially when you have, as you put it, the BMP3. But I'm actually still worried about stuff like the Terminator that has a boatload of armor and can move around with all that armor, and at the same time is now firing a quad missile back.
The Ramka, the Terminator, Ramka, and so on, they are not very good to play. We tried them on tier 8. You can't go into close combat. You have to stay on distance, and on distance with the rockets, the many missiles, it's not that easy, because everybody got APS, everybody got warnings, and so on, and you have to go close combat. So close combat, you're not hitting anything with the Terminator, with its rockets, because they're shooting left and right of the target, because they are next to the turret.
They're not moving with the gun, they're fixed.
Yeah, you can't aim at the moment. If it's gotta be fixed, then the Terminator will be hardcore.
I think everyone that it's probably mindful to know that due to the fact that the render range has been fixed in some people's opinions, I feel quite assured now that if anti-tank missiles in their new state are overpowered, then they will likely get changed as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I personally, I mean, the render range has also shown us has also hopefully shown the devs the massive problems with some of the maps, like River Point, where there's always, no matter what you do, there's always at least 2 people sitting back there camping that high ground behind the spawn point.
It does punish awful play. You even sometimes have a full platoon of top tier tanks or tank destroyers, usually Centaur 120s, who sit there and wait for their team to fail so they can farm all the people that come out the highway. The maps like that do encourage bad gameplay and campiness, in which this is supposed to be a mobile game, and camping is kind of the opposite of that.
Well, I think that's why they on purpose left the test server open for 4 weeks, and play their Lord of War, so they can get a lot of data and see how it will work. I'm with Rena saying that it's going to be, or with Fiora that it's going to be too OP, and I'm afraid of the gameplay. So
yeah, I do not want Super Camp Mode 2016, and I most certainly don't want, if you make a single mistake and get spotted, you're being shot from all the way across the map, literally, and there's nothing you can do about it because you have no idea where they are or the inability to even shoot back or spot them for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I already see it now with people getting in as Spitfire put it, Centaur 120s, and just pummeling the highway and doing 8,000 damage because they can just see for stupid amounts of distance and nobody can see to shoot them.
8,000 damage is basically just a minute of the Centaur 120's firing. With its ridiculous damage per minute, all they need to do is just to plug in a few shots.
Yeah.
Anything about nerfing it? The Centaur 120?
There is a thing that apparently that they are going to move it to tier 8 along with the wolf version.
And even then, it will still probably need a nerf, because even at tier 8, it still beats the crap out of things that it can penetrate. And if it can get behind an MBT, that MBT is dead.
Well, they need also to nerf then the 1128. I mean, come on, if there is no, it's also.
I don't think the 1128 is overpowered because it doesn't.
No.
Yes, it does about 400 or 500 damage, but it doesn't punish you with 1,000 damage hits when it fires.
True.
So one mistake doesn't punish you for half your hit point value, or worse with the Centaur 120. I've seen it where a VBL gets spotted, shot by somebody for 20 damage, so you're no longer under one shot protection, and then dies when the Sabo round reaches it.
Cool. Well, I think there are a lot of changes in a lot of vehicles and also the classes. I mean, it's firing on the move. I don't know. We talked about it last week, and I read the article about past, future, and whatever present. I mean, we have to simply see. We have to see and go to the motions probably.
I read that article last night, and I'm like, I can appreciate a developer who will tell me this. Like,
yeah, of course it is. Of course, honesty, I think, will gain you a loyal fan base, and the players will be more loyal to you if you are playing your cards open and being honest. I mean, what more can you do? So, I applaud it. That's simply my opinion.
That's why I'm really stuck with this game, because the developers are actually talking to their player base.
Yeah.
Just completely off topic, I would like to point out that I haven't done the Jesus kit yet. I'm down to my high explosive, and I've done 21,000 damage. That ammo capacity.
Nice.
There's one thing I cannot do is focus on something and playing at the same time. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm simply shooting everything as red. So,
I mean, do what works is all I gotta say. I mean, if you die, you die. We're playing this so they have some visual motion in front of them when we talk.
We're just playing for shits and giggles.
I did find it. By the way, not to laugh at your expense. I did find that that German warfare over here drowning on the last mission was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
or you know, me at the end like, okay, bum rush for it and hope I tracked. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, I actually saw that.
It's just for the action. So did we win? Did we lose? I don't know.
We won.
Okay, I never play PvE, so this is quite new to me. I'm learning. Okay. So do we want to touch another topic?
Yes.
I think we put a lot on everyone's plate, but if you guys have another topic, we can touch on it. I haven't brought mine to bear.
We have weeks of talk here about this article alone, and especially Lord of War. I think I will also try to play more Lord of War, so simply to get my opinion upon it. And if you guys are up for it, I mean, we can also do it together. Maybe that's an idea.
Sure thing. We can meet, and I will introduce you this. I was able to play this week lots of Lord of War, and I can tell you this is a whole new game. It's interesting, and I'm very happy to play with my folk. So we had a clan, or we have a clan, and for what do we have? One for playing together, and now we have the chance to play together. On the PTS, it's only 5 versus 5. That's a little bit low, but it's better than nothing. And 5 versus 5 is so much more fun at this moment than a random PvE ever was. And I'm very happy if this goes to 10 versus 10 on the live server, and I think it's 20 days or something like this. They want to test it anymore.
Yeah.
And so everybody listening to this show should take some time and download the client. You can get a pt2 assaulter for joining and getting to prestige level 25. And you need to play quite a lot, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. You can join the solo queue, you can play with friends, and I'm so happy with this mode. It's finally something to do.
Now, first off, I'm going to state this. I personally have played on the test server, but I will not make videos from a test server because I am unsure if the changes I'm showing on the test server are even going to be there tomorrow when the video comes out. So I prefer to not make videos from the test server. But I am going to say this to you guys. If they are offering a pt2 assaulter, you should totally go get it, because it's, of the tier 7 premiums, it's one of the few that I would go, yeah, this one, yeah, buy that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's also the thing, the premiums in this game are actually quite good for premiums. If you look in comparison to World Tanks.
They're not muted.
Whenever you're ready,
That's
Dick.
true.
Well, they're not muted, and then one of the ideas for premiums, I mean, I get it's just a reskin, but when they take like an existing vehicle of its tier and reskin it and put it out as a full, not like the FSED, not that, where it's a stock tank, that to me is not a good idea. But when they put it out as its full version, a fully upgraded tank, that you can also buy the exact same thing with normal credits in game, just without the pretty skin. That's a good idea. And
people have been asking for it for a long time, for premium versions of existing tanks.
But also the battle hardened thing, what you can do, you can make your favorite tank, make it into a premium tank. I think that's also a great idea.
Now, the thing that irritates me is there's no static store. There's no...
Yeah.
For a lot of these vehicles, they're on sale for a limited time, and I'm like, no, you would make more money if you just left them on sale forever. And just let people come in and buy them, at least for a couple months, or at least every single week. If you're only going to do stuff for a limited time, every single week, make sure there's something in the store for people to go buy. You would make a lot more money that way.
Yeah, but you can buy the normal tanks, like all the premium tanks in the dealers listings.
Yeah, but you like the challenge, like the Wolf series or the Ice tanks, or
these special tanks. Okay.
Special tanks.
Or the special skin for the RCR or the FSCD. You can't buy those in the premium store. They don't exist in the game store. You could only buy them for a limited time on the website. I'm like, why did you make this limited time? You could, if you know, because here's the most common thing I see for people who in North America who buy premium tanks. They see a couple people, they see a platoon of people in that tank go out and wreck face and just have a very, very good game. And then they're like, well, I want that now. And they go buy it immediately. Even though they have no clue how to really play it, they go do it.
So that's more of a case of the person being good than the vehicle.
Yeah, but the point is that the person will buy the vehicle, support the game, and therefore hopefully learn how to play the vehicle, if not just, make another happy customer.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think that's a good point actually. The people, I think all the things that they brought out now into premiums into the game, simply put them in the store, and maybe with a discount or whatever, simply making them available all the time. That will make them more money. That's absolutely true. Still, there are people. Oh, nice tank. I also want to have it. Oh, this one. I think it's not such a bad idea to do.
That would be nice.
Two topics I actually wanted to discuss on, and this is the Abrams line in game and the tier 10s. I'm not sure about you guys, but the Abrams line kind of has feel like it's lost its claws in a lot of ways. That their big strengths was their very fast reload, and now they don't really reload as fast, and especially with the really big weak spots means that it's not that good. I mean, of course, I think everyone here probably remembers when the M1A2 used to be ridiculously overpowered, and of course it needed a nerf, but the M1A1 and even the Abrams itself just getting their massive reload nerf meant that they're not really that competitive anymore.
It's not just not competitive. I mean, you're talking the M1A2 fires every 6.7 seconds for 400 some odd damage.
6.2 is the maximum I managed to get for it. And the T90 can fire in 7, the Leopard 2A5 can fire in, 6.2, so can the Challenger 2. It doesn't have any redeeming strengths.
And both of the other two tanks, the Leopard 2 and the T90, do a hell of a lot more damage than an Abrams round.
Exactly.
Another thing I wanted to brush on was the tier 10s. I'm still unsure of why they all get the same gun. I mean, for me, the tier 10s should have just been a simply souped up version of the tier 9s. Like the Abrams should have been some.
I personally hope that they replace the current tier 10s.
I do.
Just flat out, because one of the things that has been stated by NATO is they are rejecting the 140.
Yeah, I think the Leopard 2 is going to get 130.
The breech lock doesn't even fit into the hull, in the turret.
Yeah.
So you would have no gun depression at all. The breech lock is too big for 140mm.
And they flat out rejected the gun design. They're either going to go with the 130 or they're going to go with a new upgraded 120. So at this point, I think there should be a whole new list of what we would have for tier 10 tanks.
My idea also. Because we don't play them anymore. In PvP we don't play them anymore, the high tiers. I stopped doing that.
Because it feels like a waste of time.
Oh my god, it's
the
frustration.
The pixel weak spots and the insanely fast DPM, making a mistake and stuff and not being able to hit their weak spots while they can hit yours, it doesn't mold.
Oh, you get frustrated.
Yeah.
Simply frustrated by it.
Which the not being able to hit weak spots folds into something else. There are a few vehicles, and I've slowly been figuring out which ones there are, that can completely remove RNG as a factor in the game by accuracy stacking. One example, I made a video on it, the Stingray 1. I accuracy stacked it, and it comes all the way down to 0.0 accuracy. It cannot, if you let it aim, it goes exactly where it's pointed every single time. And you've basically removed RNG as a factor. That, I'm not sure about how I feel about that. I mean, it's amazing for the Stingray player, but I imagine for the person on the receiving end, they're not particularly happy.
True.
Maybe it was like a quick gap, because I remember the Stingray used to be completely there was no point taking it over VFM, and making it into a much more powerful gun version, I suppose, is kind of a band-aid solution.
But it's not just the Stinger anymore. You can do it with the Tier 10 PL01. You can do it with the Striker can have it done to it. The Starship can get the Tier 4 with the 152 dirt cannon can get all the way down to 0.01 with a maxed out crew. I'm not even kidding. I have it sitting in my garage right now with a level 2 crew, and it has 0.04. Wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Not working as intended, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's working as intended, and I don't think that should even be possible. I think there should be a hard cap on how low you can get a reload, or there should be a diminishing return or something when you just stack it like that.
Well, it works two ways. I think if you can train your crew in such a way that you can bring the stats down for, let's say, a few points, but in such a way that's quite extreme, I think.
Yeah, even it's making other combinations ridiculous. We had this first with reload stacking, and now we have it with accuracy stacking, and let's have a look at what's next if they fix this one.
If they fix this one, the next thing will probably be HP stacking, because we took a Challenger 1 and got it to almost 4,000 hit points.
Yeah.
Which a Centauro 120 can still demolish in 20 seconds or less.
Actually, no, the Centauro 120 takes half a minute because it has to shoot it 6 times.
Well, the retrofits...
I managed to get it down pretty quickly.
Yeah, but the retrofits in general, I think...
Oh, sorry?
The retrofits in general, if you put hull armor on it, or hull reinforcement, I want hull reinforcement, not simply a multiplier of hit points. I mean, it has to do something really...
I honestly think that it shouldn't just be a multiplier of hit points. It should increase armor on... Not necessarily on weak spots, but increase armor on, say, the side of and rear of the tank, so that you can expose a little bit more of your side before you get penetrated.
That's what I meant.
I don't mean like, a percentage increase. I mean, it'll say 20, 30 millimeters extra side armor at most.
Yeah. I think that's honest. I mean, if I'm paying for a tier 10 and a Mark III 8 million to simply upgrade, hey, I want to really have an upgrade on my armor and not some added hit points. So,
yeah, that's quite boring to get this upgrade. But you have to consider or take into consideration if balance 2.0 comes, it's sad. Players can kill tanks 2 tiers over their own tier.
Yeah.
So if you make too powerful retrofits, this won't work.
I agree with that, but if the game is as it is now, and I want to retrofit my tank because I'm gonna play a PvP with it, and so I pay 8 million for it, and I only get an increase in hit points. Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's not okay. I can shoot maybe 1 time extra, but that's not why I pay 8 million. So that kind of thing should also be different, I think, calculated. Or like what you have in the upgrade version of your tank, that you stick some other extra air on it or whatever. Not as it is now, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if that were the case, then I would totally agree, because to me the ERA packages in most cases are useless, because equal tier heat just punches right through.
True.
And it does look kind of ugly. I mean, like, I hate using the ERA on my Challenger 2 because it kind of looks like someone strapped Lego all over it.
Oh my god, the ERA on the Warrior makes it look like an obese whale.
Also, I just burned to death.
It's Minecraft over again. Oh my god. Oh, it's true.
And add a little Robocraft to Armored Warfare. And let's add, or cross out or something like this, add some scrap parts to the tanks.
Yeah.
For being mercenaries, and we can put some individualism to our tanks.
Yeah,
so,
personal touch. Yeah, I would like that.
I'm missing in Armored Warfare 2 things. One is dirt, like in War Thunder, and the other thing is modular, individual 3D objects to attach to your tank, like I don't know, bushes or some special
Camo, maybe.
yeah.
I
Gimmicks.
honestly think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
Especially
basically, you will become the bush.
I would also, hello Platinum Great, how are you today? I would also appreciate it if we had like, I think it would make the design team's job easier if they would let us do like player submitted logos and player submitted camo schemes and just have somebody looking them over to make sure there's nothing necessarily offensive or lewd about them, and say, okay, this can go straight into the game, or this, or you know, if they reject it, tell the person why it's been rejected and what they can do to fix it. So this way we could have, you know, instead of going into the paint job and having, you know, 100 maybe total decals, we could have 500-600 thousands of decals and thousands of camo schemes.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty good alternative to modding and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can simply modify, for instance, I don't know how it is with you guys in the States, but when I go to a car dealer online, I can even modify complete my own car, paint job, wheels, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
If they could put something like this in the game, if it's possible, just imagination. I mean, if this would be possible, you would. I know for sure people would go bananas, really, because they really, people would like that, really set their own personal tanks, making of their platoon or their clan their own tanks. I mean, it has so much going for it. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's possible, just
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
And it would really separate armed warfare away from photo
Yeah.
tanks.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I would go that far that there should not be any reasons for declining skins if they are not offensive. So like
Yeah.
German war bands from the Second World War,
Yeah.
something like this. But if someone wants to drive around with a pink Hello Kitty tank, he has to drive around with a pink Hello Kitty tank,
Yeah,
no
it's his
matter
choice.
what.
Yeah.
It's his tank, and if a clan decides, hey, we are that good, we don't want cover, we want to steamroll you like nothing, and the pink army, and they come with pink tanks.
So
Let them do this, so
I
they
would
become
totally-
famous, maybe.
I would
for-
totally log in on a daily basis just to drive around in a pink M2 Bradley and go, honey badger, don't give a care.
That's
Yeah.
really,
So
it would be fun, really.
basically, so overt it's covert.
Okay.
And on that note,
Yeah.
I think we need to end because we're over the 40-minute mark.
Never mind. We had a good time, so I don't mind.
Anything we didn't discuss today, we can carry over to next week.
Next week, yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get some more stuff to discuss. Remember, guys, to email each other hopefully before Sunday with what you want to talk about, so we have time to read the articles.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
this has been Fiora with. I guess we'll start at whoever's at the top.
Okay, this was Fash, and thank you for inviting me.
Light with Freddy, thank you all for watching, and talk to you soon, guys.
Just that talking. That it could come in.
And of course, Spitfire, the greatest and loveliest of them all. See you guys
Yeah.
later.
See
See
you
ya.
guys.